welcome to this session. Those on the stream, welcome. Welcome to those in the room. So I'm Megan Shamus. I'm the CMO of the FIDO Alliance. I've been working with the FIDO Alliance since 2016. And one of the things, actually, one of the first people I met when I started working with the FIDO Alliance is our next speaker. And what many folks that are just getting to know passkeys, or maybe have been around passkeys for a little while, or been around FIDO for a little while, what they might not know is that Japan has actually been the leading adopter of FIDO since its inception, and has really been an early adopter and take it and run kind of a country. And as we look at like deploying passkeys at scale, those learnings are like super, super important to the rest of the world in moving towards passkeys. And so when Moriyama-san said, I would love to come and talk about what's been going on in Japan and those learnings, it's like, absolutely, because this is actually, when we talk about an innovation hub, I can't stress enough, Japan was way ahead of every other part of the world in terms of adoption of FIDO. So here to share his learnings and to share some of the learnings from the collective FIDO Japan working group is Moriyama-san from NTT DOCOMO. You have, yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you very much, Megan, for your great and kind introduction. My name is Koichi Moriyama, Chief Security Architect at NTT DOCOMO, and chairing FIDO Japan Working Group and Executive Council member at FIDO Alliance. Today, I'd like to talk about that entitled, Japan is an innovation hub for FIDO adoption since 2014 and looking at the future. Thank you very much for coming. So I'd like to cover first of all, just touching upon the early days of FIDO in 2014 in Japan. And then, on behalf of FIDO Japan Working Group and the chair, I'd like to address the very significant outcome and contribution from Japan, as well as recent stats, and also touching upon some future innovation opportunity. So, 2014. Actually, in Japan, in those days, there were independent activities regarding FIDO. As one of activity, I actually had a chance to know about FIDO and met Knock Knock Lab folks with the team. And I learned about this is it. I was actually looking forward to how to utilize biometric sensors on the smartphone. In those days, I was the director of product innovation at NTT DOCOMO, and we had some devices which equip biometric sensors, but the implementation way was proprietary and looking for a standard. And then I thought this is it. Somehow we designed and created a blueprint as a draft of design, how to make it happen, back to Silicon Valley and made some conversation and finally decided go for it. And then next slide, I'll be explaining about that, how we made it happen, but we did it. By the way, as mentioned, there were some other independent activities, and Tsuchiya-san, who cannot come today, but made a first FIDO Tokyo seminar to which more than 250 participants joined that. Even from the beginning, we got a lot of, looking at the opportunity. By the way, Gomi-san at LINE-FU and Ro at Knock Knock made a great presentation there. So this is a snapshot what we have done in those days. In 2015, I still remember May 27th, we successfully launched FIDO as a world-first ecosystem-style deployment. Idea is this, specification was ready, someone could implement, but in order to enhance, I really considered how to make it happen. So fortunately, I was carrier mobile network operator, and we may define the carrier requirement. So we define the carrier requirement for high-tier device in order for manufacturer to ship their smartphone device through DOCOMO channel needed to implement FIDO. For mid-tier device, recommended, and low-tier foldable device option opportunity. But then, finally, at the same time, by 3 OEMs, 4 devices, they implement FIDO UF in their device and to support multiple services at the same time, got the FIDO official certification also from the beginning, and to deploy the fingerprint sensor device as well as the world first iris scanner equipped device. That was 2015. Now, let me explain about FIDO Japan Working Group. FIDO Japan Working Group was established formally October 2016 and have been working for long. And I try to always be an innovation hub for FIDO adoption. I will be explaining about a couple of more notable significant contributions from FIDO Japan Working Group, and also I will be touching upon the future. By the way, today I have Vice Chair Ichihara-san there in front of the seat. Also, we have Ito-san from Yahoo Japan. They are supporting me as a Vice Chair. Now, look at those. Those 6 photos are a kind of memory of media conference along with the FIDO Japan Working Group, hosted the seminar and media conference. And you can see some faces you are familiar with maybe. Question for you. What are changed from at certain time from before to now? Question. What changed? Answer is, used to be, our gesture was like this. But at a certain time, we changed the gesture like this. Can you know why? Yes. In those days, there were some perception type of media articles that is about, in the recent, smartphone camera performance is much improved, and such smartphone camera enable to get fingerprint by the smartphone and easy to create a fake finger to authenticate instead by someone else. In order to avoid such unnecessary perception, we changed the gesture. But as you know, we made an effort together with others. In those days, unfortunately, some specification was not ready to identify to avoid spoofing and presentation attack detection, what score is required. But now we have, so many people now can use biometric sensor on the smartphone without any thinking of, oh, is it okay or not? So that's a history. Now, I'd like to address 2 significant contributions in the past. This is the one. Looks like the architecture deck, but this is important. Please look at the left-hand side. Left-hand side, you can see FIDO module under that, and FIDO UF module aligned with secure area is the foundation of the device and application on top. This means in those days, FIDO UF 1.0 specification was great, but in order to deploy it, we needed to customize Android OS. So even DOCOMO released the FIDO. Only DOCOMO branded devices worked as FIDO-enabled device. That was not good. So we worked together with talented folks such as Christian Brand at Google and others in order to how to enhance the ecosystem. The idea is that at the beginning, Android UAF attestation key was strongly required. but instead change to utilize Android attestation and Android attestation plus Android APIs. We rely on that enhanced platform specification. And then FIDO UF module up to application side. Now, I can say that was the passkey enable or passkey ready device from UF 1.1. So even customer purchase a device, imagine they never have to change the device, but application side, once Google started to support FIDO2 API, the DOCOMO switched the application implementation from UF 1.1 to FIDO2 basis. So we carefully considered from the beginning, from UF spec basis deployment toward FIDO2 and passkey. That's the one contribution from Japan. The other thing, Yahoo Japan ID and Yahoo Japan in those days deployed the FIDO2 and WebAuthn as the world first, the WebAuthn adapter as a service provider. And LINE also got the formal official FIDO Universal Server certification for server implementation. So we did also from Japan did spend a lot of effort to prove the FIDO contribution is real for the real deployment. That's another contribution. Now, let me share a couple of stats. 65 is the number of FIDO Japan working group member. This is one of the largest standard working group among many working groups in FIDO Alliance. We had now more than 3,000 or more participants who participated in the annual Tokyo seminars. Now, more proudly I can share. We, FIDO Japan Working Group, have monthly plenary. We never canceled. We never canceled in the past, and accumulated number of monthly plenary is now 97. So think about it. October, November, December, and January. Now, upcoming January in 2025, we would be a 100th of the monthly plenary. So our continuous effort comes from such a, we never give up, we never cancel, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then we have more than 60 million enrolled users from RP side, in addition to platformers passkey implementation. Then this is a list of service providers who deploy FIDO and passkey. Some RP do use FIDO UAF4 to utilize FIDO UAF specific featured capabilities, though recent momentum is to utilize sync passkey more and more. And I cannot show some logos, but we have more RP such as Sony and Nintendo today. Some more stats. KDDI, which is one of mobile network operator in Japan, has now more than 12 million of enrolled FIDO customers. And more importantly, they observe that dramatic reduction of number of calls from user about what is my password. That dramatic decreasing of the number of calls to customer center is a great benefit of passkey FIDO. LINE Yahoo Corporation for FIDO, Yahoo Japan ID, they have now 25 million of customers, and they have also a lot of effort in order to make it happen. Mercari does the same, but more importantly, they did demonstrate a dramatic improvement of performance and authentication success rate, as you can see. Used to be about 25 seconds, now about 4.4 seconds for login. And 82.5% signing success rate is a great value, I think. NTT DOCOMO I'm working for is also doing great job. I can introduce DOCOMO digital identity guideline that enable and encourage within DOCOMO the service team to use. Oh, we need to use DAL3 passkey, something like that. About that, so in general, I'd say Japan community also referring to NIST's digital identity guideline, but DOCOMO started to really try to utilize that as much as possible. And since 2021, DOCOMO created the DOCOMO digital identity guideline with which we define DIAL, DAAL, and DFAL. And here for passkey, DAL, DOCOMO Authenticator Assurance Level is the important thing, and that's require passkey. For DOCOMO subscriber, we do provide another method, but passkey is the center. And then, as a result, this one, left-hand side, since 2022, September, we mandated passkey for the user at DOCOMO online shop. And it used to be when we provided only second factor authentication based on SMSOTP, we observed a lot of inquiry about unknown authorization and unknown purchasement. But since then, we never heard about unauthorized purchasement. Passkey did it. Also, Mercari does the similar effort, and they also observe phishing damage has been zero for Mercoin service. So those two significant number zero encourage Japan National Police Agency. Imagine, they also are struggling how to protect people in Japan. Cyber Affairs Bureau of Japan National Police Agency contacted us and have been having a great conversation. Please take a look at the left-hand side. Still in Japan, probably on the same planet, phishing attacks are still increasing, especially in Japan. Unfortunately, last year, the unauthorized wiring of the money from certain person to unknown happened many, and unfortunately exceeded the 80 billion yen. That is 3 times than the year before the last. That was a very unfortunate figure. But then, in order to fix it, the Japan National Police Agency decided to promote the passkey and describe in their formal report. That's a great thing. In addition, through the conversation with them, finally, Japanese government really endorsed the passkey. They published the formal document of comprehensive measures to protect the people from fraud. Now that includes the about passkey, FIDO Alliance, W3C as well. That's a great outcome. And recently I'm observing that many agencies are now reference the document, of course, because of such formality that have a power to accelerate passkey adoption in Japan. I am very expecting to see similar things, not only Japan, but other country and region. Now, let's look at the future. We aim to continue to be the innovation hub for FIDO passkey adoption. And the passkey authentication is one of the elements for digital identity and safe life for us and for our customers. I just thought, oh, FIDO Alliance, FIDO Japan working group cannot do everything. So thought need to collaborate with other standardization body and then organize a local liaison event of W3C in Japan, OpenID Foundation Japan, and FIDO Japan Working Group. And as you can see, that's in August, we got the more than 100, almost 150 at the same venue to discuss web and credential and also how we work and contribute to more from Japan. And we concluded to produce continuous innovation and outcome toward coming December as well as next year's. We organized the Passkey Hackathon in Japan. That's an interesting event. And the AG, the Google Developer Advocate, organized primarily and FIDO Japan Working supported. We got many applications, and among 25, we selected 9, and then they really worked hard at the day. And we awarded to the 4 teams, and among two among of 4, they actually comes from university. You can take a look at the center. That's a physical stuff. It's hard to see probably maybe, but that's a smart lock. That smart lock, interestingly, they created physically there on that day with the machine they brought in, and then smart lock to open the door. The passkey is well integrated. That's the awarded. The right-hand side, it's a little hard to see, but 3 items of the box, that is issuer, prover, and verifier, the very recent wallet model of identity. And then their idea is to combine the passkey with verifiable credential, group signature, and zero-knowledge membership proof. The idea is the door, basically, which can be opened by the person who manages the room, but once they cannot open the door because they are remote, may allow the person who are listed in the group, but they wanted to manage the group anonymously. So those combination of verifiable credential, zero-knowledge membership are utilized to utilize passkey. Lastly, I can introduce another interesting story for the future. Crazily, I'm working hard, but also I'm a doctoral course student at Institute of Information Security, Yokohama, Japan. And I found an interesting activity that Professor Midori Inaba, who does actually interesting approach of security psychology. And she encouraged her student, to think about the opportunity to utilize passkey. And one student, Mr. Watanabe, in the center, he actually thought, oh, passkey must be good. They actually are using passkey, but they think, why passkey is good, but many users don't use passkey? And then from security psychology and behavioral economics approach, they are doing hard to find how to improve passkey enrollment for customers. I haven't heard the final result yet, but let's look forward to the good result. Please stay tuned. So in conclusion, thank you for listening so far. As you can see, Japan team has been a great innovation hub for FIDO adoption for the last decade, and building the FIDO ecosystem and the passkey adoption from various perspectives. And we are enhancing and expanding the social interest and impact to create a safety society, working with various partners, including public sectors. Thank you very much. This is my presentation.
Don't leave. Don't leave yet. So Moriyama, can you go back to your Moriyama-san? These are the takeaways that Moriyama-san wants you to know. But what I want you to know is that, and these are very important. There were two things. One, the commitment to the evolution of FIDO, which is why Moriyama-san walked you through the specs and how they've evolved, but these Japanese organizations have been here this whole time and working towards getting us to where we are today. And the second thing, and I think you went very fast through those stats. So I did see some people taking pictures, but don't worry, this will be available later. But it's not just that these organizations are experiencing such fantastic business benefits from passkeys, but that they're sharing that. And I can't tell you enough how much organizations don't want to do that. But when they do, it really encourages others to share as well. So all of this sharing of expertise, but also of their benefits, has just been like leading to more and more and more. And so when we're placing this, when we talk about ROI, you don't know what you can get unless you can see what others have done. And that has been such tremendous value from these organizations. So thank you, Moriyama-san, and thank you for attending the session. We're going to get started in like 3 minutes on the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome.